3 rebels bikies have been denied bail after a brazen daylight attack on a Sunshine Coast motorway. The incident, which was triggered by a business venture gone wrong, left the victim severely injured. According to police, the man was pursued for 25 kilometers through heavy traffic at Palmview, before being forced off the road and assaulted, resulting in multiple injuries including a fractured nose, wrist and eye socket. Matthew McKenzie, 38, from Maroochydore, along with 30-year-old Nathan Dyson and 27-year-old Nicholas Pozzebon, both from Kiels Mountain, have been identified as key figures in the attack. All 3 are alleged to be rebels bikies from the infamous Sunshine Coast chapter, with McKenzie being an associate, while Pozzebon and Dyson are identified as fully patched members. Reports indicate that McKenzie had initially invested $50,000 into a business venture with the victim, but later demanded his money back. Although the victim eventually repaid $58,000, tensions only grew worse. On September 14, McKenzie sent a threatening group message to the victim, warning of consequences if the money wasn't returned. Just days later, on September 18, the victim left his gym in Warana, driving his Mercedes, when he noticed a Ford Ranger, driven by Dyson, following him. As he continued south on the Bruce Highway, a Dodge Ram, driven by Pozzebon with McKenzie in the passenger seat, joined in. The vehicles continued the chase for some kilometers and then tried to force the victim to pull over, and the Ram eventually collided with the Mercedes, causing the victim to lose control and enter the emergency lane. The nervous victim then exited the highway and drove towards Harmony Estate in Palmview, but the Ford and Ram continued to chase him. The Ram then smashed into the rear of the Mercedes, sending both vehicles crashing through temporary fencing and down the slope into a field. Court documents reveal the full extent of the chaos, stating that the vehicles were traveling at an alarming 120 km per hour just moments before the crash, right in the heart of a residential area. The victim, trapped in the wreckage of his Mercedes, tried to make a break for it, but there was no escape. Pozzebon and Dyson then pounced on him, dragging him out of the car like prey. What followed was a brutal assault, with the pair repeatedly punching, kicking, and stomping on him, leaving him bloodied and battered. As blows rained down, the victim managed to glance over, only to see McKenzie, standing coldly in the distance, acting as the lookout, ensuring the vicious ambush went undisturbed. Adding insult to injury, the attackers allegedly smashed the victim's phone and ripped off his Apple Watch from his wrist as if to erase any trace of what had just happened. But the ordeal wasn't over. In a menacing final move, they allegedly forced the victim towards the Ford, as if planning to take him somewhere far worse. Before the situation could escalate any further, a witness, horrified by the scene unfolding, shouted out that the police had already been called. The bikies had no choice but to abandon their brutal assault, fleeing the scene in a rush, leaving behind a scene of destruction and fear. Following the attack, the victim was rushed to the hospital, where he underwent several surgeries and lost half of his vision in one eye. He was so traumatized that he left his home, went into hiding, hired personal security, and altered his daily routines. Following these events and ongoing investigations led by the Sunshine Coast Gang Squad and Criminal Investigation Branch, a search warrant was executed at a Kiels Mountain property, resulting in the arrest of these 3 men from September 26 to September 30. At the property, officers also uncovered a collection of paraphernalia belonging to the Rebels Motorcycle Club, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, and motorcycles. The items were not merely decorative, they served as symbols of the club's presence and influence in the area. This finding reinforced the belief that the club was actively engaging in illicit activities within the community. The drivers of the Ford and Ram, Nathan Dyson, 30, and Nicholas Pozzebon, 27, both of Kiels Mountain, were later charged with driving with drugs in their system. Rebels patched member Matthew McKenzie of Maroochydore, 38, faces charges including dangerous operation of a vehicle, endangering the safety of a person with intent, and grievous bodily harm related to organized crime.
Assault and a robbery. I write you under arrest in relation to that, okay?
Similarly, Dyson was also charged with the same offenses, along with an additional charge for failing to comply with orders to access electronically stored information. Nicholas also faces identical charges. At the court, Sergeant Newman stated how these 3 men, with troubling criminal links, orchestrated this terrifying incident that sent shockwaves through the community. The police prosecutor revealed that Matthew McKenzie's failed business venture with the victim had been the catalyst for the brutal assault, alleging that McKenzie had meticulously planned the attack. As the prosecutor laid out the facts, it became clear that the debt had not only gone unpaid but had turned into a lethal grudge. The vehicles involved in the incident were traced back to Nathan Dyson, suggesting a premeditated operation carried out with little care or regard for getting caught. The court heard that even though they held normal jobs as a roofer, diesel mechanic, and concreter, the trio had criminal histories and known links to the rebels. In a statement to the media, Detective Inspector Chris Toohey emphasized that the police are committed to cracking down on bikie activities, stating that the bikie clubs are not welcome here, and we will not tolerate any actions that cause fear or harm to our community. He praised the thorough work of the gang squad and criminal investigation branch, noting that what began as a traffic incident led to the arrests of 3 bikie members, sending a clear message that authorities will act decisively against organized crime. All 3 were denied bail and remanded at the Maroochydore Watch House to appear on December 6 at Maroochydore Magistrates Court. The Sunshine Coast in Queensland is a stunning region known for its beautiful beaches, lush hinterlands, and laid-back lifestyle. Stretching from Clown Town aka Caloundra to Noosa, this coastal area offers a perfect blend of natural beauty, outdoor activities, and vibrant communities. The coast has become an attractive region for bikie clubs due to its strategic location near Brisbane, offering easy access to major cities while maintaining a quieter coastal environment for discreet operations. The region's growing population and tourism industry provide opportunities for criminal enterprises linked to outlaw motorcycle clubs, such as drug trafficking, money laundering and extortion. According to authorities, more than 100 people have now been charged with nearly 370 offenses since police launched Task Force Albatross last year, with club members including the rebels, Comancheros, and Mongols. Despite these efforts, authorities warn that bikie clubs continue to pose a substantial threat, with deep-rooted connections to both local and international criminal syndicates. The ongoing battle highlights the need for continued vigilance and robust law enforcement to counteract the growing influence of these outlaw groups. In the past, the Sunshine Coast has hosted 4 established motorcycle clubs: the Banditos, the Outcasts, the Rebels, and the Black Uhlans. At that time, the Rebels had their clubhouses in Kunda Park and Noosa, while the Banditos were based in Caloundra. Reports indicate that various other clubs, including the Hells Angels and the Comancheros, maintain a limited presence in the region. Law enforcement closely monitors these groups amid concerns of potential expansion. If you're looking for more thrilling and edgy bikie updates, don't hesitate, whack that subscribe button, spread and share the video, hit that like button, and drop your thoughts in the comments. And for the true grid Spartans out there, consider sending a super thanks or buy us a coffee to show some love. Your support keeps us going and the channel thriving, especially since most of our videos aren't monetized due to all the crime-related content. Stay tuned, stay curious, stay awesome, and take care. Wu-Tang.